Hello, I'm Jeff Stratton with Stratton Electric. I blogged this a few weeks ago about how we were going to get ready to do our energy audit for our potential solar panels here in the near future. Today so that's happening today. Here is TJ, and he'll explain a little bit what we're going to do here.
I'm TJ Ewing with Empowerment Energy, and we're just setting up the blower door for Jeff's house. The blower door essentially would create a vacuum, a pressure differential between the external and the internal of the house, equivalent to a 25-mile-an-hour wind on each side of the house, in order so we can gauge how much airflow is going through the shell of the house while it's depressurized with respect to the outdoors. We've got the blower door set up. We're going to fire it up, and then once we do, we'll be able to gauge the CFM, the cubic feet per minute, through the shell, and then we're going to take our infrared camera around the house and look for cold and hot spots where air infiltration is coming and where other insulation or thermal problems are within the shell. So let's see if we can start this up here.
All right, here you go. So it's not terribly loud.
It's a little bit more than a fan you would have to cool yourself in the summer, externally as a sort of house fan, but not a jet engine by any means.
Here we are in the kitchen, and this is the can lightings. You can see right here on the infrared how much cold air is coming out of there. You can actually put your hand up there and feel the air coming in. So this goes to show this is a huge ice area for us. We have a lot of ice buildup here in the wintertime, and I guess really, I didn't think there was going to be an issue because we have so much insulation on top of them, but this definitely shows that there's definitely a problem there.
You're getting 30 attic air coming through, and with you have two layers of 4-inch batt, and batt is notorious for air infiltration. And it's just getting around the bats. Wherever there's a little gap, the air will come through.
So TJ, how should I fix this problem?
Well, with can lights, a good way to do it is actually create a little house over top of them. You can do it with drywall, you can do it with styrofoam board, urethane board, and just you have to get up there and take the batting away, create a little house around them, give it a little space, seal up the rectangle box, and then put the batting back over. So you get an airtight little cap over the light.
Here, as an electrician, I'm a little concerned about with well, not so much the drywall, but the foam board, because it gets hot. We want to keep those far enough away from those cans so that it doesn't catch it on fire.
You want to give some breath. One person that I talked that I've never seen done, but I've heard, but they actually used those styrofoam coolers.
Oh yeah.
You get it at a store, you get one big enough, and just kind of plunk it over there, and then seal the bottom.
This is actually where our shower soffit is, and you can see in the infrared thing that camera here that how cold it is. But I know for a fact after being up there that there is actually no insulation there. So it's just letting all that cold air come right down into that area. Here, this is pointing down our hallway. You can actually see, this is where the chimney is and the can lights are, how much cold air is just leaking out through the ceiling right there. This is also where the attic access is in our hallway here. Here's a typical receptacle, and so you can see here on the infrared just how cold air is seeping through those outlet boxes. A simple fix would be just put one of those little foam rubber insulator covers on there, and we'd be good to go. Here we have some blue foam from between the ground and the top of the rim joist, and you can see here in the infrared between where there is foam and no foam how much of a huge difference that is in temperature wise.
46 without foam and 53 with. So is that about 6-7 degrees? It's colder, the foam board's warmer, but that there is a little air infiltration coming out on the back side of it that just pops out on that corner right there. You can see the spider webs too. So even though you got foam up against the block, air can still get through.
I just attribute it again to opening the door, dog in, dog out type of thing, contributing to the heat loss right there.
I would just be less inclined to say the window
Okay.
is causing that ice dam.
Okay.
What is most likely happening is you're getting air infiltration and warm air along the joint between your wall and your ceiling that's getting into that attic space and
So you think
that
it's just
thing.
the rim joint?
I think it's your
Air leak.
your rafters and your top of your wall are meeting.
Okay.
But again, it's a little difficult to identify, where the infiltration, because the infiltration could be over here, and it's just migrating because of the way that things go right up into here and causing more of the heat there.
All right, we just got back in from the outside with the infrared camera, and so TJ, what did you find out there? Did you find anything, any significant heat loss? Tell me what you got.
Could you tell?
No, it was really kind of hard to tell. A lot of times external is harder to tell, but it does show where you're above grade foundation. A lot of times that's an area where there's heat loss. We really couldn't see anything odd or out of the ordinary around your windows and doors, or where you have ice dams, so it was kind of hard externally to find things. But I think from the internal inspection we did, I think the attic and air sealing and getting some additional insulation up there is kind of the first glaring thing that I think is going to pop out of the report.
So out of all the houses that you've done so far, where do we rank there? Terrible, great, in between?
No, I think you're slightly better than average.
Okay.
The average house out there has a lot more air infiltration, and will have typically some more problems, particularly in the basement area, where the rim and band joist isn't insulated, or the foundation walls. You even have some foam board above grade, which helps quite a bit. So you're a little above average, and as we saw, 17 CFM isn't totally outrageous. There's certainly some areas where you can bring it down a bit.
Right.
Yeah, not so bad.
All right, great. Thanks for taking the time to come out here and do this for me
My
tonight.
pleasure.
I'm really excited to see the report, and I'm sure I'll be sharing that on the internet with a lot of people.
Great.
Thanks. Have a good. Thanks.
Thank you.